How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Rangers Rundown. The Rangers posted their second shutout in a row between the two goalies, Shesterkin posting one this afternoon against the Detroit Red Wings. Kreider, Zibanejad, Vatrano still making up the first line. Panarin, Strome, Kopp. Gaudreau, Hedl, Kakko made up the third line, at least in the first period, and Lafreniere, Rooney, and Hunt making up the fourth line, meaning Ryan Reeves is a healthy scratch once again. Lindgren, Fox, Miller, Trouba, Nemeth, Schneider, and Shesterkin in net. We get into the first period. Not much of note in the first 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes. Lafreniere streaking in from the bench for a chance, just over 2 minutes in, though. That leads to a couple more chances during the shift after that. Zibanejad has a partial break about 4.5 minutes in, and then Trouba takes a puck to the face. After that, he would be fine. He'd play the rest of the game. Kreider stopped twice in a row, so he shoots, gets his own rebound, shoots again. Greiss stops him both times. And that was about 8 minutes in, but the first line keeps the pressure on after that. Bertuzzi drops his stick, quote unquote. So Fox has the puck in the corner of the offensive zone, and Bertuzzi drops his stick, and it forces the puck out of the zone, and Fox is just holding his hands up like he just threw his stick at me. Why aren't you blowing the whistle? If you watch the replay, I guess it looked innocent enough that the refs didn't call anything. It was just a weird play that you don't see happen that much. Strome walks in for a chance shortly after that, though. Rangers really not giving Detroit any room at all, pretty much the entire game. The second half of the second period, Detroit started to turn it on and started to generate a lot more offense, but for most of this game, the Rangers were just controlling the puck. 12:48, Greiss takes a delay of game penalty. He tries to play the puck. He puts it over the glass, and then at 13:19, Gagne takes a delay of game penalty for putting it over the glass. So the Rangers have almost a minute and 30 seconds of 5-on-3, during which Zibanejad would score a power play goal at 13:44. The Rangers still have a minute and 35 seconds of power play time. They wouldn't score again, but they had a chance to score 2 power play goals quickly. Panarin, I believe, after this game has 91 points, which he's closing in on a career high, which I believe is 95. So if Panarin can get 4 more points, he ties a career high. Maybe he beats his career high. Zibanejad also with, I want to say 2 points tonight, maybe just the 1 goal, but he is now posting career high numbers for points. Kakko went to the locker room, which we thought at first was an equipment issue because the term is escaping me. The medical trainer, there we go, Jim Ramsey, didn't go with him back to the locker room, and usually when Jim Ramsey goes back with a player, you know it's an injury. Kakko just went back by himself. We thought it was an equipment issue, but Kakko would stay out for the rest of the game, which means he is injured again, which is not great timing. Rangers continue to push. No sustained offense for the Rangers towards the end of this first period. Getting into the zone and getting a shot or two, but no offense for an entire shift. But Detroit has 0 offense at all. They can barely get into the zone. 19:43, DeKeyser takes a high sticking penalty. And we get to the end of the first period, shot 17-3. In favor of the Rangers, very badly outshooting and outplaying the Detroit Red Wings. A minute and 43 seconds of power play time to start the second period. The Rangers would not score, though. Lafreniere is on the third line to replace the missing Kakko. Schneider rings it off the post about 2 minutes in. And then at 3:46, Vatrano scores his 100th career goal. So congratulations to him, and he just ripped it. It was, and then he was knocked down hard by Larkin. He scores the goal, and a second later, Larkin just puts him on the ice, which was, I guess, retribution for a neutral zone hit that Vatrano had on Raymond to start the play where he would eventually score. Vatrano had another good shot shortly after that. 8.5 minutes in, Panarin has a beautiful pass all the way across the zone to Schneider for a chance down low. And the Rangers are just winning every battle. Every single battle in the corners, on the wall, the half boards, neutral zone, everything. Rangers are coming away with the puck and at least getting it into the offensive zone, if not setting it up for a chance. 11:58, Seider takes a holding penalty, and this is where the game starts to look like it's going to turn around for Detroit. They have a very good penalty kill on that. They had probably their best chances of the game up to that point on the penalty kill, shorthanded. It was not a great power play for the Rangers. And then for a couple minutes in that second period, the momentum shifted back to Detroit. They were able to set up in the offensive zone, get some shots. They ended up outshooting the Rangers in the second period 11-8. 11:58 in that period, however, Hedl takes a tripping penalty. Rangers are, I believe now, they are 18 for 18 on the penalty kill over the last 7 games, which is crazy. Rangers have not let in a power play goal in 7 games. That's the kind of special teams that you want riding into the playoffs. Third period, 58-second power play for Detroit that held over from the Hedl penalty. Shorthanded chance for the Rangers during that. 4:37, Lafreniere scores his first goal of the game. It was a 2-on-1 with Gaudreau, but instead of passing, he just snaps it past Greiss and gets the goal. First line pushes right after, trying to rack up the score. Hunt almost hooks up with Gaudreau in front, about 7 minutes in. First line has a rush chance, almost tipped in by Kreider. He hasn't scored in a couple games. He does have 50, which is great, but you'd want to see him push for 50 goal, maybe tie the franchise record for goals in a season with Jaromir Jagr. Panarin break away about halfway through the period, and then the second line has a couple chances with about 7.5 minutes left in the period, but at 14:17, Lafreniere would score his second goal of the game, his first 2-goal game of his very young career. Probably will not be the last, and it was just a highlight reel goal. He dipped his shoulder, looked like he was going to shoot it, pulls it between his legs, gets around Dylan Larkin, and backhands it into the net. It was a beautiful goal. Rangers spend pretty much the rest of the game controlling the play, and they get the win for Shesterkin, his 5th shutout of the season. And like I said, back-to-back shutouts between him and Georgiev, who shut out the Flyers the last time this team played. Shots 37-20 in favor of the Rangers. Face-offs 60%. Very good face-off night, or afternoon, I should say, for the Rangers. By the end of the first period, I think they were winning 70-something% of the face-offs. Power play went 1 for 4, hits 18 apiece, and blocks 15-9 in favor of the Rangers. Just a dominant game for the Rangers. There was not a single moment during this game where you could honestly say that you thought the Rangers were going to lose. It was just all around a dominant game. The only downside is that Kakko looks like he's injured again. We'll see how bad the injury is, hopefully later today or tomorrow, depending on what they release. Hopefully it's not a long-term injury because he just came back from an injury and he needs to get his legs back in shape for the playoffs. So as he's out for, the Rangers have, 6 games left? If he's out for most of those 6 games, he is going to be a little rusty in the playoffs, and that's not going to be a good sign for Kakko or the line that he's on. The trivia question of the afternoon, Kreider and Matthews both have 50-goal seasons this year, which means they are the first pair of U.S.-born players to each score 50 goals in the same season since who? So who are the last 2 U.S.-born Rangers to each score 50 goals in the same season before Kreider and Matthews this season? We have to go back to 1996-1997. In that season, John LeClair and Keith Tkachuk both scored at least 50 goals. That's the last time 2 U.S.-born players have done it. So there you go. Rangers get another couple of nights off before Winnipeg comes to town on Tuesday evening. I will be at that game. That's my last Rangers game of the season. Very excited for that, and we'll see if they can put together another win. The Rangers have won 5 of their last 6, I believe. And they're really pushing for that first overall spot in the Metro. They are tied right now currently with the Carolina Hurricanes, 104 points each. Carolina does play tonight against the Colorado Avalanche, a very, very tough team. If Carolina wins, they solidify their first place position. If they lose, then the Rangers stay tied with Carolina. And that becomes a very interesting race coming down the stretch. Who will take the Metropolitan Division? Will it be the Rangers or will it be the Hurricanes? I guess we'll find out. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next rundown.